Well, main story time.
Oh, gods. And Adiran, what is it this time?
Hello.
Don't worry, darling. The official Adiran envoy is here at my request.
I really don't
What
like
I want to
Yatzli.
know is why she's in the company of one of our own.
I meant to stop by, but I guess time got away from me.
I'll deal with you later. We have unfinished business. But your friend has some explaining to do.
Oh yeah?
Why have you come to Thirdborn? After what your people did in Emerald Stair, I can't imagine you carry an edict of friendship with you.
I'm on a critical mission to save lives from the Dream Scourge. I stopped Ludwin from harming Fjord.
And that is the only good to come out of the matter. The attempt on an independent city like Fjord is just...
I know you're upset, Timothy, but don't take it out on us. I'm furious too, darling. That monster stole my research, and who knows what she plans for it. But you know, if this Adiran was untrustworthy, I'd kill her myself.
I apologize, Envoy. Eagle's Reach is a slaughterhouse. Dreamthralls siege our gates day and night. People are hungry, and I have not slept in days. So my temper is a powder keg, I'm afraid. I am trying not to explode. This isn't a courtesy visit, is it? I assume you're here delivering a message on behalf of Adir.
Give Temerty the letter. Inquisitor Ludwin has a message. Don't give. Only my own. Ludwin has Steel Garota coming. Yatzli says the godless ruins here might hold the key to the Dream Scourge. I mean, the letter's just going to be like, fucking do what I say, right? So I'm not going to give it to her. I'll just say Ludwin and the Garota coming.
Does she intend to raise our home as well?
Maybe worse. Ludwin's goons stole all my research on the godless back in Fjord, and now she's a little too interested in the godless ruins here.
What do you mean?
The Inquisitor might be after the location of the garden. We have to beat her to it.
Andra's depths. If I could help you, I would. The fact of the matter is, I'm in over my head already. I can't even protect the ruins myself. The Archmage Ringrim has warped the very reality of Shatterscarp. Let's just say there's a magical barrier around the ruins now.
Yeah, we saw that.
No one's getting in or out without Ringgrim's say-so.
Ringrim? As in from the Circle of Archmagi? She's here?
That was the place up in the top
The
right
very
that we couldn't get
one.
to, right?
I feared you'd be excited. Her presence isn't a good thing, Yatzli.
I guess we will be able to after this.
She flew into the Shark's Teeth a few weeks ago, and now that area is an impenetrable wasteland of ice. I heard there's an Adiran who had his mind utterly broken by her. He's still lost out there as far as I know.
Yeah, we met him. The ruins must hold something terribly important if Ringgrim came all this way.
Maybe even an entrance to the garden. We absolutely have to go inside and see for ourselves. The Circle of Archmagi don't get involved unless there's something they can gain. They're not really known for their altruism. Look at the Siege of Craghold. And that was just so that Lengrath could try and show up Consulhot.
The truth is, I'm up to my neck in catastrophes. Between the horde of dream thralls pounding on our gates and trying to keep peace with Adir, I've had to station guards on our borders to control who goes in and out, just to keep everyone safe. I never thought I'd say this, but the Archmage is the least of my concerns. So, Ludwin wants the ruins, but even if I wanted to give them over, Ringrim controls them. And good luck getting an audience with an Archmage.
Well, I need those ruins, so if that means dealing with Ringrim, so be it.
I didn't know they made adherents with such bravery. You never know what marvels you live to see. You're likely gonna die a very horrible death, but I pray Galawain will at least make it fast.
If she doesn't want to be found, that's all the more reason for us to go looking.
When an Archmage like Ringgrim decides they don't want to be disturbed, they make sure of it. There are rumors she uses the bones of the ancient dead to guard her domain.
Waste not, want not, I suppose. Is it strange I'm only more interested now?
Yes, and please, I don't need to know more. Ringrim's given me and my troops enough nightmares already. I wouldn't blame you if you choose to run away. But if you want to find Ringrim, Head east of here. Go past the Pargrunen ruins, and when you see the ice, you're there.
I know.
Yatzli, be careful. If Quilici lost you, he'd never forgive me.
Oh, don't worry about me, Temerity. If my spells fizzle, I can always give a good lashing with my tongue.
That's what I'm afraid of. Good luck.
So, you're joining? Are you wishing Yatzli or me luck?
You'll find out the answer to that soon enough. One last thing. Once you had a moment to settle in with Yatzli, come back and speak with me. I need your help with something.
Oh, yeah?
How exciting. We're off to see an archmage. To gain access to an ancient godless ruin. You do spoil me. I've just the fragrance for such an occasion. I want to make sure I smell my best when she kills us. Meet me by the tavern when you're ready to head out. Make sure all your gear is up to snuff. We are meeting an archmage, after all.
Indeed, my shit is good.
Thank goodness we have Yatzli. Our little friend group needed a bit of chaos.
Thank you for returning. I wish I could say I didn't actually need your help, but I do.
What's up?
Some young idiot thirdborners decided they'd form their own militia to protect the
Ah,
region.
yes,
Of
about
course they would.
that.
And now, predictably,
Yeah, they're kind of dead. I executed the deserter for fleeing and leaving his brothers at arms to die.
any real soldier would know the worst crime against his brothers in arms is desertion. He should have stayed with them to the end. I'll make sure these badges are given to the surviving families.
Cool. We are almost level 20.
I need to get to Hajime's report.
Patience, darling. I'll meet you at the tavern.
Okay, but like, can you hurry up?
Yoo-hoo! Over here, dearie. Ah, there you are. It's rather rude of you to keep a lady waiting. I'll forgive you, though. It gave me a chance to dip into my notes about the Circle of Archmagi.
You literally waited for a second.
One does not simply waltz into an Archmage's domain unprepared. Tell me, dearie, how much do you know about Ringrim?
Apparently not enough. They say the sight of her drives men to such terror they cut out their eyes and offer them.
Well, with her skill in spellcraft, she certainly could do so if she wanted to. The Circle of Archmagi are the most powerful magical beings in Eora. Whatever the reason, the fact that she's here at all is significant. Oh, Aldra's titties. The Circle sent the Archmage of Terror. Oh, she's just brilliant.
Do you believe the Dream Scourge brought her here?
Well, Nakukubel is the largest of the godless ruins. It's still got its share of secrets. There must be something in there of interest to Ringrim. Probably something powerful.
Now's our chance to find out.
I knew I liked you, darling. I'll be with you every step of the way. Those Steel Garrote bastards stole all my research about the Godless. They'll get to the garden first over their dead bodies. I can show you the way to Ringrim's domain, but we should travel lean. The less of us there are, the less likely she'll take notice. You'll need me to get you in the door, so who's staying behind?
Fuck. Well, we've finished Kai's like personal quest now, and Giata's got good heals and everything, so maybe we say goodbye to Kai.
I promise we'll get into the right amount of trouble.
Perfect. Oh, this is going to be fun.
New companion, the foremost godless expert Yatzli, packs a lot of magical skill into her small frame. A self-taught wizard, she honed her craft while dungeon diving in the ruins all across the living lands. With a grimoire in hand, she manipulates the very essence of the world around her. She can not only conjure terrifying displays of power against her enemies, but also dispel any arcane illusions that deceive the senses. Essence Explosion invokes a strange arcane power that explodes upon hitting an enemy, releasing a burst of essence and explosive damage. Order Yatzli to dispel a magical illusion. This is what we've been needing. It looks like a grenade, but it's her fucking ability. Okay. Man, we are so close to level 20. So close. Right. Abilities, companions. So. We have 5 points to spend. This one is the Essence Explosion base, but it can be upgraded to increase the size of the blast, deal fire accumulation, or reduce cooldown. Then we have conjure a volley of arcane missiles that seek out nearby enemies. Increases the rate of fire, increases the maximum range, or deal shock accumulation. Then we have Yatzli manipulates the arcane energy around an enemy, slowing them for 10 seconds. A 10-second slow on a single enemy is kind of meh. Intensifies its slowing effect. Area of effect, that's probably better. And frost accumulation. And her passive attacks burst into a small area of effect when they hit an enemy. Deals explosive damage, breaking enemy blocks, destroying walls, and shattering frozen enemies. Increases stun or chance to ignite. Okay, well, let's just buy the base level of all of these. And then what do we want to upgrade? I think area of effect on this one. And I don't know. Let's go rate of fire. Cool. And then let's map it up and head over here, I guess. We could also... No, let's do the side stuff after. I want to do this. I'd like to do this. Then again, everyone's going to want to chat at camp, don't they? I forgot about chatting at camp. No. Okay, well. You want to chat, you want to chat, you want to chat. Even Marius wants to chat? What the fuck does Marius have to say?
Listening to Yatzli's thoughts about godless ruins is one thing. Bringing her along for the rest of the trip is something else.
You don't trust her?
Well, don't you think it's a little convenient? You need to go somewhere no one ever goes, and here she is to show you the way.
Oh, you think she's a traitor?
If she's read anything about the garden, it was written centuries ago. Obviously, things have changed since then.
You seem really bothered by this.
Bothered? Pedraku. It's my job to guide you as safely as possible. What you're doing isn't safe. I'll go along with whatever you decide. Just don't be disappointed when she doesn't show you what you wanted to see.
Well, you don't be disappointed when you fucking stay on the bench like always.
Right.
Anything
What
new
do you
about Shutterscarp?
What else is there? No idea. What you see out there is what you get.
Any tips for
Let's see.
surviving?
I think you know enough to survive out here. Right.
What about your thoughts
Let's
on her?
make sure they're not listening. The only one we haven't talked about is Yatzli. I don't trust her any further than I could throw her, which honestly isn't that far. She actually goes down into these ruins on purpose, just to see what's down there, I guess? And now she's trying to lead us to the garden. Might as well be searching for WoW's wacky wagon of mysteries. Nah, I'm sure she knows what she's doing, but what if she doesn't?
Alright.
Pleasant dreams.
Wait, you've got more?
I suppose if you're on a wild goose chase, there are worse places to do it.
Worse places than a hot, barren land filled with chasms and sinkholes. You know something about Shutterscarp that I don't?
I probably know a lot about this place that you don't. It's rough, but it's very survivable. Yatzli's got you going in all sorts of abandoned ruins. Who knows what's down there? More questions, most likely. And spiders.
Are you afraid of spiders now? What's going on with you? Where's all this coming from?
Nothing, I'm fine. Forget I said anything. I just want to make sure we've covered all the options before we dive headfirst into another deadly ruin.
What other options? This is the only one I'm aware of.
No idea. I just wish I trusted Yatzli's research. Seems like a lot of danger for not much payout. I'm sure we'll be fine. I just hope this is all worth it. Anyway, if I must.
Okay, doesn't have any further. Kai, what's up? Wait, Kai, you're stood in the floor.
I know
Kai?
I'm beautiful, darling, but usually my admirers hide their stares a little better.
No one's staring at you,
I wasn't,
Yatzli.
I mean, you do look lovely.
You
but
don't really.
All this time on the road, and you look as fresh as spring berries. I just wondered how you do it.
Oh, why thank you. It took a while to find a product that worked so well.
Any tips for scales? No matter how much I scrub, I never feel like I'm getting the dust out.
Darling, sweetheart, I would love to build a regiment. Next time we go back to Fjord, we'll make... This is surreal. And the perfect place to set up shop if you're an archmage.
Wait, what? She just,
hadn't
like,
had a chance to
overwrote
see
her own
this
dialogue?
before.
That was weird.
It's magnificent. Come on, let's go introduce ourselves to an archmage.
Oh, is it because I...
Good.
Okay, it's
Well,
probably
as
because
I
I
was
went
saying,
out of there slightly.
Next time we go back to Fjord, we'll make a quick stop at my usual
Oh, she
supply.
picks up where she
a
finishes? Wow, okay, that's very cool. I was not expecting it to pick up where it left off.
Thirdborn. If it weren't for the Leviathan skeleton in the middle of town, I'd hardly recognize the place.
When were you last here?
6 years ago. Feels longer now. You ever come back
left
to a
without
place
saying
and feel
goodbye
like
and
the
it's been
buildings
6
are smaller
years?
and the colors are
Yeesh.
duller?
Is this about Tama?
No. Well, yes. But it's more than Tama. Thirdborn was always this rugged oasis. Dangerous and out of the way, but bursting with vitality. It was a harbor for larger-than-life types.
Wait, is
People
the
like
sound going
Capo,
funny
the
again? I think the
Leviathan
sound's going
Slayer,
funny again. God damn it.
Tama. Glory seekers.
Yeah,
trophy
it's
hunters,
going. God damn it.
warriors trying to leave their battles behind. People who built around their stories and their scars.
As soon as we get out of this conversation, I will reset. I saw more scars than... Sorry about this, but there's nothing I can do about the sound right now, unfortunately. Until we get out of this conversation. The Thirdborn you described sounds more like legend than reality.
I guess it felt like one, too. Hardtack and murk brew after a long day's patrol tasted better than any feast. Being back, it felt like we were watching Thirdborn die a slow death.
You're in mourning for the home you left.
That I abandoned. Yeah, you're right. I think what's eating at me is that Thirdborn seems rudderless. The Dream Scourge is one threat. Conflict with Adir is another. The Living Lands is changing, and Thirdborn feels like a barnacle on a moving ship. Temeriti's leading them as best she can, but towards what? What are we doing out here besides surviving?
You need something to run to.
Instead of drifting. Yeah. For the longest time, I was just running from Tama's death.
Of course this would be the longest
Thanks to
fucking
you, I'm
conversation when
starting
the
to
sound
think
is
about
fucking
what
up like
I might
this.
head towards. What about you? You were sent by your emperor to investigate the Dream Scourge. Since then, you've died, met a secret god, and gotten swept up in tensions between your empire and our scattered settlements. Between releasing Egwolf and thwarting the Steel Garrote and Emerald Stair, you've opposed your empire's interests. Do you know what you're sailing towards, or are you drifting with the tides?
Adir's interests are unjust, and our alliance with the Steel Garrote leads us down a dark path.
That kind of clarity is rare. Thanks for talking. I hope Thirdborn is able to find its way somehow.
Okay, that's all for now.
I can...
Let's save real quick, and then I will BRB.
I'll be up a while anyway.
And we're back. Okay, man, that is such an annoying bug. I don't know why it happens. I wish I had any way of knowing, but...
Seeing Capo like that was hard, Envoy. He'd just given up, and we let him do it.
He had the Dream Scourge. You know what he would have done. What? Wait, but hang on. We haven't done anything to him. What? He's still chilling in his house.
He still had time, and he should have held on to every minute of it. For Chico's sake, if nothing else.
They're talking about something that hasn't
come to
happened.
terms with losing Tama.
This is
I
weird.
just worry we've robbed Chico of that chance.
They're talking like we killed the old dude, but we haven't. We went into his house, we gave him the Leviathan heart, and then we left. And that's it. But they're talking like he's dead. I thought he might have the Dream Scourge, because he had a notebook about dreams, but we didn't do anything with him. This is a weird bug. Chico will be okay, they're stronger than you're giving them credit for.
Maybe so.
That's such a weird... like, he's alive. Weird. What kept you from returning to Thirdborn for so long?
Tama's memory. Never knew how to separate it from this place. And the longer I stayed away, the harder it felt to come back.
Well, what's it like to return now?
Harder than I thought. Thirdborn's missing a lot of familiar faces. And the youngsters who've grown up and the new arrivals, they seem green. Like they're cut from a different cloth, a more delicate one.
Their neighbors are turning into dream thralls. That would rattle anyone.
This plague is tearing everything apart at the seams. Healing may take years, if not generations.
Maybe you're both right. Thirdborns only survived because the people were tougher than the wilds. I just hope the people living behind those walls know how to keep them standing.
Any other questions? Oh yeah, thoughts on companions.
You're asking me? I'm not much of a gossip. Okay, who do you want to know about? You know, just when I was thinking our little group was getting too solemn and serious, we met her. Sometimes I think she lives in her ruins and grimoires rather than in the real world with the rest of us. But she keeps things interesting and keeps us on our toes. What's more, she's a good friend to Giada. And Giada's a good influence on her.
Is that all? Because I thought you two were flirting earlier.
I'm pretty sure Yatzli flirts with everybody. I don't read anything into it. Don't get me wrong, she's a striking woman. But she and
I think she
Kulichi
looks
have a good thing.
horrendous.
I'd never get in the middle of something like that.
Yatzli sees things differently. She studies both lost history and magic of incredible power.
Yeah, and both of those subjects fly way over my head. I prefer dealing with things I can see and make sense of. I just hope she keeps some part of herself grounded with the rest of us. She's brilliant, but I worry that the real-world consequences of the forces she plays with are academic to her. Maybe I shouldn't. Sure.
Okay.
Holler if you need anything else.
Giata.
The Dream Scourge is getting worse. First our land, then our animals. Now our people. If we don't put a stop to it, we're looking at the end of the living lands.
We still need to wrest it away from the Steel Garrote.
How can anyone expect us to do both? As if the Dream Scourge wasn't enough of a problem, the Adirans are profiting off our misfortune. They haven't come to help us. They're here to exploit our weakness.
My people are in dire need of correction.
Let's hope it never comes to that. But when it does, I'll be at your side. It's too bad. We're fighting for our lives, our souls, and our freedom. I don't know if we can win all three.
We can. It won't be easy, but we'll make it. I can't believe there's an option to say we can't. You doing alright?
I've been better, if you hadn't noticed. It will pass, I'm sure. My apologies for acting cynical, but it feels as if nature, politics, and even the very gods are working against us. I don't appreciate being backed into a corner, but here I am.
Must be nice having Yatzli around.
Despite everything that's happened, I'm so grateful to be working with Yatzli. In many ways, Kulichi has been like a second father to me. But Yatzli, she's like my dirty aunt who's up to no good.
We all need a few bad influences in our lives.
Oh, she's an expert in that field. While I have your attention, I've been thinking. Why is Inquisitor Ludwig suddenly interested in godless ruins?
Maybe because I'm interested in them and she's jealous.
Well, I'm glad your past romantic entanglement has put us all in danger. We should be ready for anything. Something tells me Ludwig isn't finished with us yet.
I love that there is references to that one choice we made saying that we used to bang. Shatterscarp, anything? No.
Go on.
Thoughts about Yatzli?
Anyone in particular? Of course. She's brilliant. Open to anything. And sees the world as she wants it to be. Yatzli gave me my first glass of wine. And the courage to approach a special someone.
Me?
We have a lot of catching up to do.
Wait a second, who is this special someone?
No one to get jealous over. To call it a relationship would be an insult to the word. But it was fun while it lasted. Animancy is the study of life. Unfortunately, we get so busy that we forget to live. So a little roll in the hay is good for the soul.
So true. Do you want to
Yatzli
go
taught me
do that?
Well, not the part about rolling in the hay. That was my idea, and I don't recommend it.
Did she know your parents?
Indeed, old friends. When they died, Yatzli protected me. Made sure I had one consistent person in my life. I think that's why she gave me that glass of wine. Why she encouraged me to live my life to the fullest. She was making sure I hit all the milestones I could have missed. Now that she's traveling with us, maybe she can teach you a thing or two. I think that covers everyone. And if my good opinion changes, you'll be the first to hear about it.
Alright.
Not
And
before
then-
I've done some reading.
We have Yatzli herself.
For the camp of an official Aderan envoy, I was expecting a little more. A proper bed, at least. But I suppose this will do for now. As long as you have a bath, of course.
Do you see a fucking bath here? Ooh. Hello. I was under the impression you liked it rough.
When the mood is right, I find I like everything. I'm going to write Quilici tonight. Make sure he misses me. But, as riveting as it is to complain about our accommodations, I imagine you have another topic in mind?
That jar you had me fetch for you earlier, is it worth much?
I'm the only buyer you'll find here, and I already have the jar. A lesson for next time, darling. It's always worth some haggling. Unfortunately, it's been quite some time since I've met another who focused on the godless as I do. And I imagine I'd be more knowledgeable on the subject than anyone else you could find.
Is that how you got that burn? Running around old flammable ruins? Wait, what burn? I'm not seeing a burn.
I've yet to be burned in a single flame trap, and I don't intend to start anytime soon. Fair guess, though. When I got my first grimoire as a child, I was trying out some of the fancy new spells I'd been given. I was attempting a simple illusion spell, but I must have slurred my words. The next thing I know, everything was on fire.
Whoops. When you say everything...
I mean, my arm wasn't the only casualty. What is childhood but for silly things? When else can you get away with arson? My father was able to pull me from the flames as my mother doused them. I burned myself badly enough to give myself some vivid dreams, but the house still stood at the end.
Great. Did you ever end up getting the spell right?
Of course. Now I only burn those that deserve it, like mosquitoes and university administrators.
True.
The only lasting damage was my burn mark and the dreams.
Light flickers, words blur. They're coming, whatever they are, but it's safe to die here.
Do you do that often?
More often than you think. Because you'd think it should never happen, but it does.
Well, next time give the girl some warning, will you? I like it, but not everyone is as open-minded as I am. Thankfully, the dreams are nothing too terrible. Just the usual things. Not studying for an exam, having all your teeth fall out. They're not nearly as enjoyable as my more provocative dreams.
Personally, my favourite dream involves several lengths of rope and an enticing courtier from home.
Oh. Well, just be sure to have a quick release knot if you ever make that fantasy reality. Someone should learn from my mistakes. I certainly have no intention to.
That's one use for rigging.
As delightful as you are, we've much to do and less time to do it in. Shall we go?
You got more to say?
Oh, Envoy, might I steal a moment of your time?
You finally ready to talk about what happened in Emerald Stair?
Well, it's the waiting that makes the payoff so delicious, don't you agree? Look, I lost more research than I'd like to count. But Fiora and its people are safe. That's what matters. Thank you, Envoy. I don't know how you managed it, but whatever you did, you averted disaster. That being said, your ambassador is going to get an earful, and possibly a fistful, next time we're in Paradise.
I'm only sorry the crop situation got so dire for everyone in Emerald Stair. It's the steel garrote you're mad at, not a bureaucrat.
Envoy, you'll find that I'm unreasonable from time to time, so hush. At least we were able to get everyone to safety. Though with everything happening in Thirdborn, safe might be relative. At least I know Temerity will keep an eye on them. I think she knows what'll happen if she doesn't.
All I can see is blood and fire, ash and screams drifting on the wind.
Well, you're not far off. My plan has a little less wailing, I think.
Have you known Temerity long?
Long enough that I trust her to do her best by everyone. You see, Emerald Stair has Naku Tedek. For a young and aspiring godless scholar, it was a godsend, if you'll forgive the pun.
I will not.
And, as a young at heart godless scholar, I've traveled outside the stair to other ruins. That's how I met Temerity. Thirdborn's close to Naku Kubel, and a girl's gotta eat sometime.
Of everywhere you've gone, why set down roots in the stair?
Yes, why did I choose to settle down with a gorgeous scientist who loves me? What a mystery. I still go out often. I've catalogued many ruins, but there are always more. And coming home to a warm welcome is lovely. You should try it sometime, darling.
A warm welcome from the Animancers? How do you get that?
Oh, part of it is my sparkling personality, of course. But a larger part of it is time. It's hard to hate someone when they drop by your lab with lunch after you've forgotten to eat again.
Is that how you met and wooed Quilichi with snacks?
My mother always said that the way to a man's heart was through his stomach. Quilichi and I got together the old-fashioned way, though. I saw a beautiful man across a smoky tavern. Then I dazzled him with my delightful personality. Then he showed me an abandoned ruin outside of town, and I was hooked.
Giatta and Quilichi seem to be close. Does that concern you?
Are you joking? He's my mentor. Not to mention 1,000 years old.
Oh, no. They're both handsome humans, of course. But Giatta is like family to both Quilichi and me. He taught her a lot of what he knows. She spent days in our home. Literal 26-hour days.
26-hour days?
It's hard to believe that things have changed so much recently. Any sense of safety...
Slower planetary rotation?
It makes you wonder how everything will turn out.
Dark days lie ahead for those who call Fior Messiverno home. Someone must light the way for them.
Well, when we left, Vidaro seemed to have gotten the idea. Finally. Still, you're right. Vidaro was far too slow to act. At least Quilichi is with them. So I know someone competent is there. Thank you, Envoy. I feel a little less frazzled. I've got a lot to think on. Talk to you soon?
Talk to you literally right now?
Try not to have too much fun without me. How can I help, darling?
What do you think of our travel companions?
We've been traveling together for a little while. I just have to know. Did you purposefully choose such colorful company, or is that just what you attract naturally? I mean, I'm very clearly a delight, so it's obvious why you let me stick around. But Kai's hiding a lot behind that humor of his, isn't he? Thinking that that could be Quilichi and me is... not something I want to think about. And Marius... I don't know what's lurking in him, but I do think he should speak to someone on it. If he reaches out, do try, will you? As for Giada, well, clearly Giada is a gem. As for me, well, I'm just as riveting as you, but the boys are giving me a run for my money.
I often collect oddities and mysteries. Why should my party be any different?
Oh, we'll have to compare collections. Once I rebuild mine, that is. You do strike me as a people person. Tell me, do you get along with all you meet?
Ludwin and I used to get along quite well, if you catch my meaning.
You're not serious. Galloway's gonads, you are, aren't you? I have 1,000 questions. Had she died yet? Was she nice then, or always a monster? Had she died yet?
You just asked the same question twice. I hate to leave something unexperienced if I can help it. How often can you be with the Death Guard? Ludwin is far too obsessed with Wudica to be tied down by pleasures of the flesh. I can draw diagrams for you if that would help. Let's go with... I hate to leave something unexperienced if I can help it.
You could have skipped lovemaking with a psychopathic dead woman, though. And here I thought I had a wild youth exploring ruins. You might be putting me to shame, dearie.
Come on, you and Quilici have been simple and sweet all your time together?
Quilici is quite good at knowing when to be sweet and when to be sour.
Yatzli, that's my surrogate father you're talking about? Spare my imagination, if you please.
Oh, you knew the risks when you came over uninvited, darling. It's on your head. Well, you've satisfied my curiosity. You know, Envoy, we've traveled enough that I think I've gotten a handle on your style. Style of fighting, I mean. Your fashion sense is more... opaque. But listening to your incantations, they could use some tightening up. I could probably teach you a thing or two, if you're up for it.
Oh,
What
yeah?
do you say?
Can you show me what to look for?
Of course, darling. Easy as pie. What? Out of breath already? Talk to one of the boys. See if they can help with your stamina, dear. Well, I've taught you all I can. Let's hope you put it to good use.
What did that do for me?
I wish we could have done more for them. Capo and Chico, I mean.
This is such a weird
But
bug.
if I were in
He
his
didn't
shoes,
die.
I hope I'd make the same choice. Though I'd like to pick a more fun way to die.
It's such a weird bug. I mostly just feel bad for the guy who is still alive in this game.
Of course. Even when it's expected, or even preferable, it's always a tragedy. I can only hope that at the end I have some control over things. That I can go out as Yatzli.
Wizard extraordinaire, godless expert, and a Balrog in the bedroom.
And don't you forget it. But it gives you something to think about. I mean, not everyone gets to come back like you did, Envoy. Well, that's all I had to say. I'll let you get back to whatever you were doing. Unless there's something else you want to chat about? How can I help, darling?
How'd you cope with the stress of travel?
These sudden changes in climate always mess with my coiffure. Does Adir have good fur maintenance products? Do you have a contact for that?
I would have thought you had a full routine by this time in your life.
Unfortunately, your clumsy countrymen ruined my entire stock of ointments when
Whoops.
they were trying to burn my house down. And I'll remember that comment. Truly, just a good long brushing through all my fur alone would do wonders. I've got some time before we see Quilici again, at least. It'll give me time to find something to remind him of what he's missing.
You and Quilici are quite the unconventional couple.
In life, you make your own entertainment. I enjoy scandalizing the small-minded when I can. Quilici and I got used to the stairs early on. Thankfully, at least in Fjord, those stopped eventually. After 30 years, it's hard to still be surprised by us just drinking at the Magpie.
You've been together 30 years? I did not realize it was that long. When did Giatta enter the picture?
Oh, she was still young. Quilici offered to help her study for and prepare her thesis as a favor to her parents. She was over day and night for months, and, well, now she's family. We adore her. All things considered, it's hard to complain about my life in Fjord.
Everything been perfect since then?
No, of course not. No one is perfect, but I forgive him many vices. Like, he sleeps with his socks on.
You two are adorable, you know that?
You're too sweet. As much as I enjoy our little chats, dearie, we should really get going. Oh, but if you do end up finding any liniments, be sure to help a girl out.
Let's talk about the recurring dream you've been having.
Well, I suppose you've earned that much. And I do enjoy rewarding tenacity. Though between your dreams and mine, it's a wonder anyone gets any sleep around here. You remember that I nearly burned my family home down when I was young?
It's hard to forget.
It was an accident. And I paid for it. My parents refused to buy me more spellbooks for years. Well, shortly after all that fuss, the dream began. It started at first with a fire. Just flames, crackling, and a feeling of safety. I thought it was a little weird, but nice. But then the dream kept coming back, night after night. I learned more every time. I saw that it was a fire in a hearth, and that hearth was in an old library. I assumed it was a library, at least, to explain why there were so many tablets lining the walls.
Were you alone in the library?
No, there's someone else there, but it's like I'm a ghost. They can't see or hear me. In the library, there's just one person, but they're wearing a hood, so I never see their face. They do the same thing every night. They curl up in a chair by the fire, hold a tablet to their chest, and then the fear comes. The paralyzing, all-encompassing fear of something.
You don't have anything more specific?
Just the noise. A low, deep banging starts, and it rattles through your bones and shakes you to your core. And it replaces the beat of your heart with this droning on and on and on until you forget every other sound you've ever heard.
A beat. Steel feet on the shore. They come by night.
And then, as it just gets louder and louder, and right before it gets there, I wake up.
You've been listening to too many of Giada's ghost stories.
And let me tell you, waking up in a cold sweat does nothing for my fur.
Ooh, I bet. You don't know the sound source, I assume?
How sibilant. No. Just that it's all-encompassing. It's strange. I've not told many of the details of my dream. I suppose I must like you quite a bit, Envoy. Don't let it inflate your ego too much.
I'll do my
I suppose
best.
we should try and get some rest now. I'll have some tea ready for when we awaken later.
And there's one more thing, I think.
Do you think those Adirans were onto something? Or were they onto something before you ended their studies? Do you think they could have cured the Dream Scourge?
Do you?
I think it was worth a try, at least. I just hope we made the right decision.
We're going after the source, and that's what matters.
I suppose you're right. But we missed an opportunity to learn.
Wait, what
more,
opportunity is she
and
talking
we won't
about?
get such a chance again. I hate to see it slip through our fingers. Had you left them to their own devices, who knows what we would have gained. A cure might sound far-fetched, but what if they found treatments for the Dream Scourge? And even other ailments? But our loss, I suppose. Well, that's all I had to say. I'll let you get back to whatever you were doing.
I don't remember what she's talking about, I'm not
Unless
gonna
there's
lie.
something else you want to chat about? How can I help, darling?
What can you tell me about the Godless?
Careful what you wish for, darling. So, the Godless, or the Akida, as they called themselves, were the original folks who lived in the Living Lands. They arrived on the shores of a new land and settled there, living with the land instead of trying to tame it.
The Akida were fleeing, and a storm brought them here.
You sound certain. Well, that would align with my own findings. But how could you know that?
The voice in my head told me.
Oh, well, you should definitely trust that. But dubious metaphysics notwithstanding, you corroborate my theory. The Godless are so singular Their art and architecture, you never see it in Rawatai or Ishamatul or, well, Adir. But in their artwork, they reference escaping, fleeing, seeking refuge, so they must have come from somewhere. My guess, they originally came from Yesua.
Where?
Yesua, a continent, cut off from the rest of the world, hidden by eternal storms, one of the 3 hubs of the Angwithan Empire. 10 years ago, you could say it wasn't real, that it was a dream, but they said the same of Ukaiso. Suddenly, the appearance of a mythical land doesn't seem so implausible.
If this place was so great, why leave?
There was some kind of schism, an ideological one. From what I can glean, the Godless were staunchly against the gods, hence their name. There are even some not-so-kind murals of the gods. It seems like the Godless really took their anti-theism seriously.
You really are obsessed, aren't you?
Almost like I've dreamt about the Akida my entire life. Well, I think we've covered everything, don't you? Rather, as much as I think you'll withstand. Hope you enjoyed talking about this as much as I did, dearie. How can I help, darling?
Is there anything else?
Careful what you wish for, darling. So, the Godless...
No, that's just a repeat.
Blah.
That's weird. They don't usually let you just repeat conversations like that. Usually the option will just disappear. Well, there we are. That's
Always
it.
a pleasure, envoy.
And
Would you like some ice, darling?
I'm not drinking anything.
Well, I remember hearing an old wives' tale that when you're on the verge of panic, you hold some ice. It gives you something to focus on, apparently. I can magically whip up some for you if ever you need it.
Right. No thanks. I'm fine.
No need to bite my head off, darling. I'm only trying to help.
Gods. Listen, I'm having a rough day and my porridge isn't sitting very well. Maybe I'll ask you for some ice later.
Well, however I can be helpful.
cool. There we go. That is it for today. When we return, we will head into the Archmage area and see what is up there, and do a lot of main quest, I guess, although there is a couple of side quest bits I need to do, right, but mostly main quest for a while now that Shatterscarp is fully uncovered. So, that is it for today. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you did, if you could leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. Share the videos around, share the playlist around if you can. I would really appreciate that. And I'll see you next time for more Avowed. Thanks for watching. See you then.